In this lecture, we'll study about the concept of variables in C. In the previous lectures, we have already seen different types of constants in C, that is integer constant, real constant, and character constant. The link of those videos is provided in the description box. So let's start with the definition of a variable in C. A variable in C is a name associated with a memory area where data of various types can be stored. A variable is a fundamental building piece of a C program, which can be utilized in expressions as an alternative for the value it holds. So here we can see the variable syntax. We can define single variable or we can define multiple variables. For defining single variable, the first thing which comes into a picture is nothing but the data type of that respective variable and then the name of that variable. In a similar way, for defining multiple variables, the data type comes first, then the corresponding variable names, which we need to separate by commas. So here I have taken three different variables. The first one is an integer variable, second is a character variable, and third one is a float variable. As we have seen before, for data type integer, we are using the keyword int. For character data type, we are using char. And for floating point data type, we are using float as a keyword. The rules for constructing different types of constants are different, as we have seen before. So for integer constants, the rules are different, whereas for real constants, they are quite different. Similarly, for character constants, we have seen different rules. However, for constructing variable name of all types, the same set of rules applies. So here let's start with the rules for constructing variable names. The first rule is a variable name is any combination of 1 to 31 alphabets, digits, or underscores. Some compilers allow variable names whose length could be up to 247 characters. Still, it would be safer to stick to the rule of 31 characters. Do not create unnecessarily long variables. The second rule is the first character in the variable name must be an alphabet or underscore. The third rule is no commas or blanks are allowed within a variable name. The fourth rule is no special symbol other than an underscore can be used in a variable name. So this is an example where we are using an underscore in the variable name. Let's say I am creating a variable for storing the gross salary. So this can be the variable name, that is gross underscore sal, which is a valid variable name. Finally, I have taken a few examples for variable names. The first one is for storing simple interest. So here SI is for simple, INT is for interest, and I am separating these two words by an underscore. Similarly, two more examples I've taken. In the last example, we can see that we are also using a digit in the variable name. Let's see a C program to understand how variable works in C. So this is a C program for calculating simple interest. As we know, the formula for calculating simple interest is principal amount into rate of interest into number of years divided by 100. So this is a formula what we will be using. Now for that, we are starting with the very first preprocessor directive, that is #include, using which we are including standard input output header file. Then comes the main function. The return type for the main function is int, that is integer. So we need to end this main function by using return 0 statement. Open curly brace denotes the starting of the main function. In a similar way, the closing curly brace indicates the end of the main function. Here I have taken two integer variables. The first integer variable is p for storing the principal amount, whereas the second integer variable is n for storing number of years. On the next line, I have taken two float variables. The first float variable r is for storing rate of interest, whereas the second float variable si will be used for storing the value of simple interest. Now here we are trying to assign some values to these variables. So on this line, I am assigning value 1000 to variable p, that is for principal amount. Here I'm assigning value 3 to the variable n, that is for storing number of years. And on the next line, I am assigning value 8.5 to variable r, that is for rate of interest. After assigning these values, on the next line, we are applying the formula, that is P into N into R divided by 100, and this value will be assigned to variable SI. Finally, we are printing the value of simple interest by making use of printf function. So as per the format of printf function, within double quotes, we have to provide the format string. %f is a format string which is used for printing the real values or float values. And then comes the name of the variable, that is SI. After completing this program, we have to save this program. So I have already saved this program with this name, that is simple interest. .c denotes the C file. Then comes the execute option. First of all, we'll compile the code. As it can be seen here, this code has 0 errors, 0 warnings. We can go back to execute and run the program. The output of the program is this, that is simple interest is 255. Now let's try to understand the difference between constants and variables. In the previous lectures, we have seen that the values of the constants cannot be changed. Opposite to that, as per the definition of variables, the values may change. So let's try to change the value of one of the variables here. Let's say on the next line, I'm making the value of variable P 2000. After making this change, we need to save the program. Let's go to execute and compile it. As it can be clearly seen here, this program has 0 errors and 0 warnings. It means this change has got no problem. After compiling it, let's run the code. And now we can see here the value of simple interest is changed. So before it was 255 and now it has become 510. Let's try to understand how. So whenever we talk about execution of the C program, it happens sequentially. As per the sequence, initially variable P got value 1000, variable N got value 3, variable R got value 8.5, and at this line, we are changing the value of P from 1000 to 2000. So whenever we'll apply this formula, at the place of P, the value 2000 will be considered. Whereas for the rest of the variables, the values are the same. That is, for N, the value is 3. For variable R, the value is 8.5. If you're calculating simple interest as per these values, the simple interest will be this new output. In this lecture, we have covered what are variables, rules for constructing variables, and finally a C program to understand how to use them. In the next lecture, we'll see the concept of keywords. Thank you.